Aloha, Scott the Astro Manager here. I want to conclude this email series with just a few finishing thoughts and rounding some things up, and maybe a couple last minute tips. So here are some potentially useful things to consider. And the first two links, I haven't actually used them. They're commercial. There's a fee to them. I don't think you need them. I think you can do a lot of what they do for you other ways. One of the things that each one of these services do is allows you to hide your inbox so that you cannot look at it multiple times during a day. And so that's boomeranggmail.com and Inbox when ready. I think Inbox works with multiple different email clients, and Boomerang Gmail obviously is Gmail, but I believe they have some other clients as well, perhaps Outlook or something. And Boomerang Gmail also lets you schedule emails to come later, and again, for both clients. You can do this now within a lot of clients. You can hide your email simply by closing your browser tab, putting something over it, but you might find these useful. And another thing to consider, depending on your organization and how things are organized, is setting up email lists. The advantage of archived email lists is you can reach a lot of interested people with a single email, which of course could be a problem. But the advantage of it is it gives you an archived place where you can go and see all these emails. So that really helps people come up to speed who haven't, who new joining this group or your organization. They can see what's been discussed before. It also is a repository of all the emails on this topic. So it promotes sort of inbox cleanliness, because you don't have to keep your things in your inbox or in some file structure of your emails. You can always get these emails and this conversation over on this site. It allows people to just filter out those incoming emails if they want to, and simply go to the archive when they want to catch up on what's going on. Most people don't do that, but at least you can read it and delete it, knowing it's there on this archive site if you want to. So it allows more push and pull communications, which is a nice way to do it. So I find if there's lots of different groups, different subtopics going on, having some sort of public, archive like this for an email list is very useful. The other thing it does, that allows people who maybe aren't necessarily interested or in your team, if they have some spare time and want to browse through extra emails, but there are some crazy people, they can actually read this and perhaps even find something interesting or something they can contribute to and help the group out. So that actually does happen as well. Then I found this list in Lifehacker, and this was the top 10 ways you're probably using email wrong. And I think they agreed with several of the points that we have been making here. So not responding promptly, I can kind of agree and disagree with that, right? You certainly want to respond when you're doing your email session, but no, you do not want to respond as soon as that email arrives, because that's interrupting your task, and that's making email the most important thing in the day, as we've already discussed. Sending sensitive information, we didn't discuss that, but I think that's fairly well understood these days. But let me get down to number 5, writing terrible subject lines. We talked about that. Burying new emails in old threads that just keep on evolving and no one can tell what we're talking about anymore, and the subject is not relevant. It's harder to search and find out what's going on. Using your inbox as a task manager. Your inbox is an inbox. Your task manager is your task manager. Checking your inbox too often, we've discussed that. And emailing the wrong or too many people, that making their email management task worse, and perhaps yours, as they respond saying, "Hey, why am I getting this? What do you mean?" And you have to respond to that. So at least half the points that we made, Lifehacker in general agrees, and not that means anything, but it's always nice to find some confirmation of thoughts. And I've seen these listed in other places as well. So finally, I want to conclude with a couple sort of, I call them yeah buts. So people who have tried this or are thinking about these ideas, and they say, yeah, but what about this? So one of the yeah buts we get in email is, yeah, but it takes all day to process my email, so I have no time for anything else. So, in which case there's a few possible things going on. One, you may be spending too much time on each email. And you should be spending at max the amount of time you've allocated to the do task. And remember, you're either going to do the email right now if it's short enough, 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how many emails you have. Maybe you have a lot of emails, you have to shorten that even some more. But that's your maximum amount of time you're spending on the email. You do it, you delegate it, or you defer it. Delegate it, you're sending it off to someone else in your delegation tree, and maybe you're putting a task in your task management system. Defer, you're putting into your task management system or your calendar, right? Either way. So you should, if you're spending more time than that in your emails, then you're spending too long, per email. The other option, the other possibility, or another possibility, is you're spending too much time on that do stage. Rather than 3-minute task, you might be taking 5, 10, 15, 20, 30-minute tasks. Now, that's okay, but that's what you're doing then is not going through your emails. What you're doing then is you're deciding that that task is the most important thing to be doing, and you're doing it. So if that's the right decision, then good, you've made the right decision, and the rest of your emails are going to suffer because you've identified a high priority task. If that's not the right decision, then you should be deferring or delegating it instead of doing it right then. Third thing, you may have simply too many emails. You may be doing steps 1 and 2 exactly right, but you've got too many emails, and so you can't get through them in time. So revisit the method you talked about at the beginning about how to reduce the emails you get. One of those is reduce the emails you send. Work on saying no so that you're accepting fewer tasks, fewer requests for your time. And then stay tuned that if I continue this series, if you're interested, you can let me know in the comments below. I've got a delegation, class. So how do you, if you need help delegating, learning to delegate, and a task management class, which also helps you sort of prioritize and spend less time doing that, and saying no in the process, and also getting the right things done, sort of related to task management. How do you make the right prioritizations? Why do we sometimes not prioritize the right thing, but why do we sometimes not do the right thing even when we know it is the right thing to be doing? So all those things can kind of help you with this, I've got too much to do, and how do I sort out what I'm doing? How do I make that workload smaller? Right. So the tips provided in this series, right, if you've got too many emails, you've got too many emails, then there are things you can do. We've talked about how you can reduce your email, but you also then need to start reducing your task load, the way you communicate with people in some cases, but you also may need to look at your workload. So stay tuned and let me know if you're interested in some of those sessions as well. And the last yeah but we have here, and if you got more yeah buts, let me know in the comments, and I can respond to them in some way or another. The other yeah but I hear a lot is, yeah, but I do this for a while, then something comes up, and then my inbox explodes, and I can't keep up. So, the easy answers are schedule time in your day. Really try and block out time. Typically, it's early in the morning. It's in the beginning of the day or end of the day. But block time off of that as much as possible. And sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to be flexible. Maybe you've got a meeting that slot 1 day a week, so you can move it around. But try and actually block scheduled time. Some people like blocking it towards the end of their day because that limits the amount of time they're going to spend on it. Other people say, well, no, then I'm working late because I haven't gone through my emails. So think about that. Use your amnesty folder. Use it frequently if you need to. Right when you get out of control, especially if you've gone away, you've gone on a business trip, or you've been on leave, or maybe you're involved in a major project and you've just had all hands working, all attention working on that effort. Use your amnesty folder. Go through that process again. If you feel like you need to, add 15 minutes a day to your scheduled email time and work through that amnesty folder. But just empty it out, and your inbox so that you're not falling further behind. You're processing what's new, what's coming up. And as we talked about in the earlier amnesty part, probably you won't need to spend too much time. People who need something from you will contact you another way. Either through an additional email, or they'll call you or something else. So you may not ever actually need to go back. And the third thing is be kind to yourself, right? The whole purpose of this isn't to add more stress to your life. We're trying to make your life easier and make email less of a stress to you and take less time and help you be more efficient at it. So if the stress of emptying your inbox becomes as large as the stress of dealing with email was, then there's been no gain here, right? So be kind to yourself. Inbox zero is about making life easier, not about emptying your inbox, right? So, and that's why I say using that and amnesty. Give yourself a break, be kind, and do the best you can, right? You don't have to do this every day. And, I go through times where it gets really bad. I go through times where I've got 5 or 10 or 15 emails coming through. And if it gets bad enough where I'm unhappy with it, I either spend a little bit more time emptying it out, or I put it in my amnesty. Right? 'Cause it's not about, we don't want to add stress about being more efficient. We don't want that push to efficiency to stress you out. And I actually have another class on that as well. So if you're interested in any of those, let me know. If you have comments, questions on the emails, let me know. I've organized this series so that I can add new components in as they come up into the series. And so if there's things that I haven't discussed that you're interested in, let me know. I can add that. Otherwise, I think this concludes the email series until I come up with some additional ideas, and maybe I'll stick some new ones in that. So I'll put the whole link down below of all the episodes, all the videos in this series. I really hope you found this useful and it saved you some time. And I hope you see me next time, whenever that is. Bye-bye.